So I played World of Warcraft for over 7 years. I started in Classic and I stopped playing by the end of Wrath of the Lich King. And since then, I've been trying to find a new game to pretty much fill the void that World of Warcraft left in me. So there is a video we're gonna watch right now. It is saying you will never experience WoW like this before. And I hope we're gonna be talking about the Classic WoW.
Like me, you've played World of Warcraft for a long time.
Yes.
You've probably felt it.
Yeah,
the game isn't
I remember
the same.
seeing this.
It's not objective.
My first character was a dwarf hunter called Indez.
Worse, and it's not dead.
He was this guy.
It's not even necessarily less fun, but it's different. You try to explain the feeling, and it's frustratingly difficult to put into words. Some will say it's nostalgia, some say Blizzard are to blame, and some say it's us, the players, who are different.
Yeah, we got older.
What if all of this is right, and World of Warcraft has quietly and carefully transformed into something else, whilst keeping the same name? I want to try and unpack what's changed, and why this shift is felt so profoundly by the player base. From a world to a system.
Yeah.
Early World of Warcraft wasn't just a game. It was genuinely...
It was literally... I remember being a kid, bro. I was a fat kid, depressed. I didn't have the greatest life, okay? My real life, it was kind of... it was not the best, okay? But inside the game, bro. Inside the game, I was... It's actually like that meme from like the Warcraft from the South Park. But that's how I felt. I felt like a great...
world. And this wasn't just an accident. It was a result of the design philosophy being built and centered around friction. Think about it.
I did this so many times, this Griffin.
The obnoxious flight paths.
Yep.
Really difficult elite quests that most people couldn't solo.
So you used to actually go, and for example, if you were like on the in the bottom of the map, you will take the Griffin, and you know that, okay, this is gonna take me around like 5 minutes. So I will go to the kitchen, get my snacks, probably my Coca-Cola, by the way, not the actually, and just enjoy. And no, this was like the time that I used to take a break.
Required you to find other players just to complete them. Zones that felt dangerous, limited information and minimal hand-holding, and of course, no automated queues and grouping. These things have slowly and efficiently been cut and trimmed from World of Warcraft in the name of approachability. But the importance of this friction has been vastly underestimated. It was the difference between in retail, where you feel like you're logging into your system to complete a list of objectives, to how it used to feel, as if you existed in Azeroth. You were logging into a home away from home, a cozy, warm and welcoming universe where you just wanted to explore, take your time and have fun. By removing all of this friction, Blizzard have streamlined the game, but with the heavy cost of diminishing the world. In retail, we have queues, layered instances, cross-realm grouping, cross-faction grouping.
And the worst thing, it is the Raider IO, man. The fact that if you don't have a good Raider IO, you can actually not get into any group. If you don't link the achievement of like the World Force, blah, blah, you don't get in the group. Like, it is so obnoxious.
Cross-faction guilds, borrowed power, seasonal content, and an overall hyper-structured endgame loop. The question upon logging in for the player now is no longer, what adventure can I have today? It's, what system will I engage in the most efficient and optimal way today?
Yeah, how can I min-max
foundational shift,
the gains,
and a seismic change in the emotions that we as players feel towards World of Warcraft. Community wasn't optional. Early World of Warcraft forced social interaction.
Yeah.
You needed other players for elite quests.
It's the same principle of actually why Diablo Immortal as a community game, it's still successful. Because it kind of has to force you to be playing with your teammates and be playing with your guild. And that friction that is annoying to be having to be there at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. But that's the thing that actually makes the community be a community.
Dungeons, teleportation if you weren't a mage, crafting materials, enchants and other gear enhancements.
Yeah,
and
looking
much
for
more.
enchanting.
You had
oh my
to
God.
make friends and acquaintances.
Yeah.
Social contacts within the game, not just through an automated system. And as a result, your reputation mattered.
Yeah.
Were you a notorious ninja looter? People on the server remembered.
Yeah.
Amazing at your role in a party and a real team player? People also remembered this.
Damn right.
Your actions in the game mattered to the community, as did those of other players around you. This began to diminish in Wrath of the Lich King with the arrival of Dungeon Finder, which, don't get me wrong, solved a problem from Blizzard's point of view, but it also removed consequence. Now, you queue, you clear, you leave.
Yeah,
you very rarely remember.
This is so right, man. I remember that one of the reasons why I stopped playing BFA is that I played it for like 2 months, maybe 3 months, like before or like in the beginning of the COVID. And in 3 months, and listen, I'm not the most antisocial person, okay? If I see someone that is good at the game, I'll talk, I'll chat in this, but I didn't make a single friend. Yeah, I played with some people, but I didn't manage to get like any meaningful interactions in 3 months of playing the game because the systems, they are just like you queue up. It's just like everyone is very disposable, right? So if you're not good or if you're not doing as much damage as me, I don't want to play with you. I don't care if you're a great guy or not.
Even care about the people that you played with. Efficiency replaced familiarity. For most game genres, this is a neutral or even a net gain. But in an MMO, it creates a profound emptiness.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been really aware of this shift recently.
The game becomes empty.
When I've been watching the live streams of Josh Strife Hayes. He's playing Burning Crusade Classic as someone who has very little experience playing World of Warcraft. He's created a guild with the mantra of no dramas, just try your best and have fun in a video game.
And everybody's telling to be max.
I can't get enough of watching these streams. It reminds me of how WoW used to feel. It encapsulates that forgotten feeling that we've all lost in the game. When we just play to have fun, enjoy an immersive and amazing world with a good community of like-minded players. That's the heart of MMO gaming. Not trying to just increase your potential market of customers by watering down the very things that made the game special. The homogenization of class identity.
Oh my god, this is
early World of Warcraft classes.
This is like so key. So I feel like it is actually one of the worst things they did is like now every single class does everything. Everybody has a healing, everybody has a CC, everybody has everything. Like it does damage, it runs, it has escapes. Like there is no uniqueness to play a certain specific class.
Were flawed. Some specs were weak. As a
you
Shadow
had strength
Priest fan,
and
I know
weaknesses.
this feeling very well, particularly in vanilla.
Oh my
Some
god,
specs
Shadow
were
Priest. You know, I was Shadow Priest just because of the Shadow form, bro. The Shadow form was the most epic thing in my opinion in World of Warcraft. This here, looking at your screen and you just turn into Shadow form. Whoever was the designer that made this, it's perfect.
Some specs were essentially classed as a meme, whereas others were essential and brought something essential that made them necessary in groups. Many specs struggled, many were suboptimal, and balance wasn't particularly good.
But you still bring
But these imperfections create individuality and texture to the game.
Yeah.
You weren't just one of the DPS. You were a warlock. You were a shaman. You were a mage. You were a specific class with a specific identity, specific utility, and specific
you had a buff
strengths and
or
weaknesses.
something that the raid needed.
You felt like your character mattered, like you brought something to the table that others just couldn't. Over time, Blizzard have watered this down and standardized classes. Party and raid buffs have been reduced in importance. Bloodlust and heroism have been expanded to several classes.
I feel like in the name of the convenience, but putting heroism in almost every single class, it's not all of them, but you remove them from shaman. Heroism was the thing, was the buff. It is a buff that is like, it makes you attack really fast. It is really cool, by the way. But there was such a uniqueness thing for shaman, and you removing it from shaman, it's like it removed like the whole identity of the class.
Utility has been spread out so that everybody brings something similar, and no one really has anything essential. Even rotations have been
I
streamlined.
played Demon
and
Hunter,
often
by
have
the way.
major similarities
In BFA, I tried Demon Hunter. It was kind of cool.
to other specs. For example, the builder spender resource playstyle.
WoW is a seasonal game now.
Warcraft
Yeah,
is
it feels that
probably
way.
better balanced than it ever has been, and receives regular attention to make sure it stays that way. Absolutely. But this hyper balancing smooths the edges of the game. And if you keep feeling something smooth and non-distinct, eventually you stop feeling it altogether. The optimization era. So this is something that's harder to admit, but equally as important. World of Warcraft didn't just change because Blizzard did. It changed because we did. Think back to early World of Warcraft, theory crafting with friends, checking out thought bots.
Oh
to try
my
and
god,
learn new
thought
things.
bot. Oh my
Compare
god.
that to now. Tier lists are
Wow.
everywhere. Warcraft logs publicly ranks your performance. Simming your character is regular practice, and the meta is solved within hours of every.
I think that this is not just a World of Warcraft problem. This is literally the way that gaming works right now. It's like, for example, I create content, right? I know that tier lists are, if I want to have like a very popular video, I just do a tier list. It doesn't matter if it's going to be right or wrong, but I just do a tier list. So that's one of the reasons why I don't make tier lists very often, because a lot of times they are very, you know, everyone has their own opinion. You know, some are, you know, right to be wrong, some are right to be right, but it's just most people right now, before even installing a game, they are already watching a beginner's guide, a tier list. What is the best class? What is the best hero? What is the best weapons? What is this? What is that? They didn't even freaking play the fucking game. That's just how it is. Like, they don't give a chance for them to actually go and try the game. They literally, that's what people do now, because they don't want to waste time. Everybody feels like their time is so precious, and it is. Time is precious, but at the same time, if you're already gonna go and play a game, and the first thing you're gonna do is try to play with the best mid-max class, and you don't really care if you like more to play wizard, but oh, I guess like on the tier list it said barbarian. I don't fucking like barbarian, but the barbarian is S tier, so I'm gonna play the barbarian. It doesn't make sense. You should start the game, enjoy the game, because most of the games at the beginning are really easy, and later on metas are just for the sweaties and the tryhards at the late game, at the end game. Go discover, explore the game. That's how you're actually gonna fall in love with it.
New patch cycle. The mystery is gone. We expedited discovery being replaced by efficiency. You can see this now in the modern re-releases of
This was
classic
epic,
WoW
by the way, Burning
variations.
Crusade.
They're approached differently. They've still got many benefits compared to retail, hence their popularity, but it's undeniable that we as gamers and humans in general are simply more analytical, more competitive, more optimized, and less patient. Culture has evolved.
100%.
And honestly, it's not necessarily for the better.
Yeah.
Borrowed power. When you mention borrowed power, a lot of people will immediately think of one thing: Legion
Heirlooms?
artifact weapons.
Oh, okay. I
This
didn't play
then led
here.
on to other systems like Azeroth armor, covenants and soulbinds, and so on. Borrowed power in this kind of blatant sense has been removed or reduced by Blizzard in recent times. However, it's been replaced with an overarching borrowed power: seasonal content. This design is not inherently bad, but it gives
you guys were saying that now is seasonal, and is actually seasonal. Oh, so I thought you were just talking about the loop, but there is actually seasons. Wow.
temporary feeling to anything and everything we do in the game. Constantly resetting our power and our immersion in the fact.
I thought you were saying, like, in a way that whenever there is a major update, all of your previous gear is now like useless, so you kind of have to start farming for the new raids and all these things.
Fantasy. In earlier World of Warcraft, your character felt persistent. In modern World of Warcraft, it feels rented. When systems and gear constantly disappear, your attachment weakens. You're no longer building a character, you're borrowing one.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that DI makes me still play the game for a long time, is because every day I can log in and I can feel that I'm still progressing with my character, right? And it's not borrowed power, right? Like there's nothing that I am achieving and I'm upgrading that like in 3 months or 1 week it's gonna go away, right? Everything that I gain on my character. So the more time I put on my character, the more attachment to it I have, and that's just the way it goes. So in a weird way, Diablo Immortal is a mobile game. Actually made me so much more emotionally attached to my account, like back in the day in World of Warcraft days, than playing PoE 2 or even like Diablo 4.
Journey versus destination. In vanilla, leveling was the game. You spent weeks and months climbing through the leveling journey.
Weeks, months.
Zones felt like entire chapters. Dungeons like major milestones, and large accomplishments like getting a mount felt monumental.
It was.
In modern World of
Bro,
Warcraft,
getting 40 gold for the mount was crazy.
Everything before max level is a chore designed to be skipped.
I feel like it's wild that you get the mount at level 10 now. I think it's level 10, right?
That shift completely reframes the entire game. You don't ask, who is your character becoming?
Look at these.
You
Bro,
ask,
they are pulling like the whole pack of mobs. If you did this back in the day, you will just wipe. It will be impossible. Also, players, they were not as good as they are today, okay? But still, you could not do this. You will pull 1 pack at a time. If you pull 2 packs, you're probably dead.
when can I get to the real game? Philosophically, this is the polar opposite of the original style and appeal of World of Warcraft. And honestly, it's the antithesis of what an MMO should be. The journey and the world should be the centerpiece. Compared to jumping in,
looks cool.
hyper-focusing on efficiency, and then jumping back out. It almost feels like retail has the mentality of a game like League of Legends. And that's not what the majority of World of Warcraft players are looking for when they log into Azeroth.
Is this like a caster demon hunter?
The
what the hell?
shrinking of Azeroth. Flying mounts.
Oh, flying
dragon
mounts,
riding.
Yeah.
Portals everywhere. On the face of it,
it doesn't feel like a world anymore.
Quality of life features. Efficiency,
Look how
accessibility,
fast.
and general ease of use have benefited
Jesus.
hugely from these features. But they compress the scale of the world. In the past, traveling across Azeroth felt like an adventure.
Yeah.
Now, that adventure has been replaced with a loading screen. Retail WoW is more convenient than the game has ever been before. But the cost of this convenience, it reduces any sense of grandeur within the game world. It's lost its weight, and therefore, it's lost its immersion too. The adventurer became a champion. Early World of Warcraft positioned you as one adventurer among many. You were a regular person, helping regular people. Modern World of Warcraft casts you as the hero of the entire world, and even worlds beyond. Everything revolves around you, the hero. The scope of the plot and the new lore is so huge, it's completely different to the original narrative of Warcraft. The narrative...
Bro, this looks so bad. I'm sorry, man. Like, I don't know. It just like looks too fairy-like.
Scale has escalated so much that it's actually constant cosmic level
I don't know. I
threats
just
now.
don't feel it.
And ironically,
It's too
all
beautiful.
of this has made the world feel smaller. It's less tangible, less immersive, less understandable. And by elevating the player to such heights, they've lowered the game's overall feeling of scale. The live service approach. Modern World of Warcraft operates on seasonal content. Time-limited cosmetics to make you feel like you're going to miss out if you don't get them quickly.
Also has
Structured,
that?
predictable patch cycles, and a focus on analytics and metrics. Content is designed around player attention above anything else. It feels like a live service platform rather than a massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
The WoW token.
Because honestly, it is. Classic WoW, on the other hand, felt slower, messier, less scheduled. The entire pacing of the games are diametrically opposed. The live service approach improves predictability and planning, but it introduces an urgency, which is a very different feeling to mystery, exploration, and immersion.
It was a great game, man.
the nostalgia question. So that word always comes up with this kind of discussion, nostalgia. And yes, it does play a role. Your first foray into a new game, especially a new MMO, is magical because everything is unknown to you.
Yeah, but whenever I went and I played Classic for the first time and I did my first leveling, it was amazing still. I loved it. Bro, the pacing, it's just like everything about it was perfect. Then I just didn't have the time because like I was traveling and these things, but I killed Onyxia, I killed Ragnaros, and then I just quit the game. It's like I went to the mission to Classic, I did those things, and then I was done. It was a Orc Warrior.
Everything feels dangerous. Every dungeon is exciting. Every big milestone or rare loot drop creates huge spikes in dopamine.
Yeah,
and you
get a green,
cannot
it's
replicate
insane.
this feeling. But to use nostalgia as a way to simply dismiss these discussions ignores the deeper issues that we've already discussed. Nostalgia is a valid point and it certainly does play a part. But to overlook the structural evolution of Warcraft as simple nostalgia, it's misguided. The new player paradox. Ironically, many completely new players...
Bro, look how many characters you can get now. What the hell? How many classes? Okay, it has 6, 9, 13 classes. Oh my god. This is starting to look like Diablo Immortal, man. Jesus.
Report
and what is this? Are these like races? How many races there are?
Retail feels more overwhelming and less immersive than Classic. Leveling skips context. Dungeon Finder bypasses zone storytelling. Dragon riding trivializes zone...
So wait, you can play any race with any class. Is that how it is? Because like before, if you wanted to be a shaman, you had to be from the horde, right? And then they made like also shamans like for later on for alliance as well with the Draenei. But you could only play if you played Draenei, and you could only play Paladin if you played Blood Elf. So I think they also brought like some uniqueness into the game.
You just feel like you're launched into this overwhelming sense of features. I felt this myself recently trying to level a Devourer Demon Hunter. Compared to Classic, where you're steadily brought into the journey, instead you're just thrown into a capital city and then presented with a myriad of queued systems and, quite frankly, really trivial and boring content. Not only that, but because Blizzard know that leveling is essentially something to be skipped and rushed now, some classes don't even feel like they work while leveling up. Like with Devourer, you can seriously tell Blizzard haven't even thought about it. It just feels terrible. You can't even cast some of your abilities until you get deep into the talent tree, so the early levels just feel awful. In chasing streamlining and accessibility, Blizzard have actually created a really overwhelming and, quite frankly, not fun system for new players. Transmog.
Oh
Transmog is something that I've always viewed as a positive feature in World of Warcraft.
Oh, I don't like it.
The ability to customize your character's appearance and express your identity is, on the surface, a fantastic addition.
I don't like it
at all. It means that
I don't like I think like I know that the cosmetics are super popular and everybody loves cosmetics. I am completely fine if you earn the cosmetic. But if you paid to look cool, and I understand like the business side, we're not talking about making business and companies need to make money and blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just from a player perspective. I am completely fine if you earn the gear from killing the boss, farming something, getting higher rank. That's completely fine for me. And you should be rewarded to look cool because you put in the effort to look cool, right? And I remember that a lot of times, if I was running in a battleground and I saw someone with a golden shiny armor, which was like the Grand Marshal gear, I was like, holy shit, I'm not going to mess up with that guy, right? And so just by looking at them, just by the gear, you knew how strong they were. Nowadays, you have absolutely no idea. You look at their gears, you don't know. You don't know if you're gonna get clapped. You don't know if what it's gonna be. You don't know even the strategy that you should take, because the gear does not really translate into the power of the character, and I think that's actually a loss.
Are completely separate from just power, and it gives you long-term value to doing things like going back into old content to farm cosmetics. However, recently I've been spending some time in old versions of MMOs like old school RuneScape, for example, and I began to appreciate something that modern World of Warcraft has gradually lost. In older games, and even in earlier versions of World of Warcraft, what a player wore told a story.
Yes,
you could immediately understand something about them just by looking at the gear that they had equipped.
Exactly.
You could see their progression. You could see their achievements.
You know if they are the bad boy in town. You know if they are the badass. You know how skilled they are just by looking at this gear. This is what I'm talking about.
The dedication and the wealth of the gear. It wasn't just cosmetic. It felt like you were looking at the character's story.
And listen, the best feeling. So I was Gladiator, okay, and I had all the Gladiator gear. I had everything. I used to just go into town and I put it on my mount. Okay, that's what I did. I put it myself on the mount, and then I just sit there. And then you will see people going by. They used to stop in front of my character. You know that they are clicking on me and inspecting my character. You know, you don't even understand how that actually felt. You know, that actually felt like pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie, man. I felt there was nothing in my life as a kid that made me feel more important than that sentiment of just putting my character in the Iron Forge.
Felt like you were looking at the character's story. In modern World of Warcraft, transmog has blurred that connection. A newly created or low-level character can look visually indistinguishable from a high-level character that's at the pinnacle of raiding.
It happens the same in Diablo.
This does give players freedom of expression, and at the end of the day, it is purely an aesthetics thing. It just removes a layer of visual progression.
Yeah.
And playing a game that doesn't 100%. Have this, you really do start to notice it. When you look around you, every single player looks cool and looks powerful.
Yeah,
therefore,
but they are not.
Nobody really looks cool and looks powerful. The visual clarity that once made the world feel grounded and believable has kind of just been replaced. I'm not saying that transmog is inherently bad. Like I say, it's something that I felt overwhelmingly positive about for its entirety. But it has fundamentally changed how players perceive one another. And that does make a difference. The cash shop. The World of Warcraft in-game shop has been a controversial topic for many years.
Oh, man.
Some players appreciate the additional cosmetic options and mounts, but the large majority have been negative towards it, feeling like...
I believe that the cash shops in all of these things, they please a lot the casuals. Because the casual doesn't really care. They don't care if you are using tier 3 and you want to look like a badass. All they care is that they want to look cool. They want to look cute. They want to look this. They want to look that. So you are talking to a very different type of player. The casual player, the average player, usually they don't really care about the meaning of the gear that you use.
Like it undermines the integrity of the game. For a long time, I personally felt completely indifferent towards it. I never purchased items from the store, so I felt like it didn't affect me. But over time, my perspective has shifted a little bit. The issue is not necessarily the existence of store items, but it's more what it represents. Many of the mounts, pets, and cosmetics that are available on the shop are unique and high-quality designs. These are items that in previous eras of the game
they don't even look like they're great,
in-game accomplishments. Instead, they exist outside of the game world, accessible through payment rather than achievement.
The boosts, man.
This creates an important shift in how rewards can be perceived. It removes potential incentives from the game and places them behind a financial barrier instead. In a game that already requires...
This is like, for me, one of like the worst things is like you are selling a game and this game already comes like with a boost. So imagine you are a new player And because like they are trying to skip leveling, but leveling in these games, it is like the tutorial. It's like you learning how to, oh, okay, I'm level 12 now, so I gain access to the arcane shot. So I'm gonna pull these into my body. Oh, okay, now I'm stronger. Then I have the stinger shot, and then I have like the viper shot, and I have the whatever. So step by step, you will learn how to play the class in a slower pace. Now in these games, it's like in a couple of 3 hours, like you already have like 30 spells, and you're like, what the hell do I do with these? And you can even take like just a few seconds, because if you have the boost, and then you get level 85 instantly, and all of a sudden you get overwhelmed because you are at the end game and you didn't even learn the game. So your attachment to your character, because you didn't see it growing from like 0 to hero, which is usually what is the MMOs and ARPGs like that. That's the fantasy level. You don't have that.
Them behind a financial barrier instead, in a game that already requires a subscription, a purchase cost, and expansion purchase costs. Even if you don't necessarily interact with the cash shop yourself, it undeniably changes the relationship between effort and reward in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, of course.
I personally think that really any item, but especially things that have unique effort put towards them, really cool unique art, should be available through gameplay. It's the whole point of an MMORPG. Like I said, for a lot of us, we don't interact with the cash shop anyway, but it's been an undeniable shift in World of Warcraft. And over time, these shifts have contributed to that broad feeling that World of Warcraft has completely changed.
I'm right, boys.
So what can we learn from this? Honestly, World of Warcraft does not need to go backwards. Multiple versions of Classic already exist for this, and no doubt they'll continue to expand this, with many players expecting Classic Plus to be announced later this year at BlizzCon.
That'll be so
retail
dope.
WoW really does need to remember something. This game did not explode in popularity and become a legend in the industry because it was efficient and streamlined. It did it because it felt alive, it felt dangerous, it felt inconvenient, and it felt social in a way that automation cannot match. Retail has mastered systems, but
it's the same concept that in a world that social media existed, we never been or we never felt as alone as we do today. In a world that exists social media, we never felt this alone. That's because that's the convenience. It's not really what makes you actually build depth in a relationship towards something.
Classic mastered atmosphere. The moment that a world becomes too efficient, it's no longer a world, it's a service. The real challenge for Blizzard moving forward isn't just choosing between past and present. It's remembering that the magic of World of Warcraft didn't come from metrics, it came from the world itself.
Bro, what a great freaking video, man. I will highly recommend you guys to go and drop a like and a sub to this guy. What a great freaking video, man. 100% I agree with pretty much everything he said. World of Warcraft, like, still, in my opinion, one of the greatest video games ever made. I miss it very dearly. I look and I try to play retail WoW. It's just like not the same, and it is also okay to not be the same game, you know. But I can't wait for the day that maybe we're gonna have like a new MMO around the block that maybe we can actually go and spend some time in there. And I know that probably many of us, you know, like Brutus was saying in the chat, that, you know, now we have more responsibilities, maybe we don't have as much time, but at the same time, maybe you can also take it at your own pace, and you don't have to maybe put like 12 hours per day. You just log in and enjoy the game like you used to back in the classic days. So yeah, great video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all these things, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.